Hello everyone, this is In-Game Art with another box and another offline product game review. This is Project Cars 3 for the PlayStation 4, but being played and tested on my PlayStation 5. To jump right into it, this physical copy here is just a base vanilla version of the game, so the on-disc version is 1.0. Now sadly there was an update available. This update size was 36.4 gigabytes big and will take you to version 1.13 since it's on negative video. Not like always, I play all my games completely offline with an unregistered account, and sadly I cannot say my experience was flawless, but I was still able to play and enjoy a good portion of the game. And as well, I was still unlocking trophies with my unregistered account. Now to go into it, this isn't my first time covering a Project Cars game, but this is my first time playing Project Cars 3, so I was very interested in seeing the overall changes I'd remember from the first one. It's been a long time. The game definitely feels a little bit more arcadey than a full simulator, which I didn't have really a problem with that. I kind of welcomed the little bit more fluid driving than very stiff like you drive in a boat in the original first game. But the overall experience might be a little bit more arcadey than some people may like. But it was still pretty fun in terms of the car driving mechanics, braking, turning, and handling of the cars and everything. But before we go into it, I do want to point out that you can play the career mode. Career mode is not locked behind some online requirement or anything like that. You can make an account, you can play offline and do a bunch of stuff. You can play custom races, buy cars, upgrade cars, change the color and paint job of your car, and all this other stuff is, like I said, play career, unlock career things, progression, and stuff like that. Now, you're probably wondering that, from terms of video, I didn't get super far. I didn't get all the way to like GT or anything like that, and that's because the slew of problems I was experiencing. Now, I never experienced anything that prevented progression, just a slew of other problems. First off, when you start the game's going to have some flickery graphics, like the environments in the distance might be flickering, or some little environmental pieces, graphics will be flickering and stuff like that. As well as that, I did play the game on performance mode, and the game did run at steady 60 frames per second, which was really nice, but every time you start up a race, and it slides past all the cars, the frame rate is very choppy, and that's often when you can start seeing a lot of the graphics and assets and stuff like that around the environment flickering around. As well as that, I did have the game lock up. Not crash, lock up. Basically, the game just completely froze, and I couldn't push anything, do anything to get out of it. I just had to push the PlayStation menu and get me back to the opening of PlayStation 5, close the application, and reboot it back up. This happened 3 times throughout my playthrough, and as well as that, I did have the game crash 4 times throughout my playthrough as well. Now, these random moments are just very inconsistent. It just feels like the game, if you move too fast, let's say if you get in an accident, you want to hit a restart, go back into it, get into another accident, you want to restart the race. If you move too fast, it feels like the game's going to crash. And or if you're like, one of the times I had the game lock up where I was just pressing through all the experience and money gain and everything like that, and it just locked up. Like, if you move too quickly for the game, it's going to freeze up, crash, or lock up. As well as that, there were some like lighting effects bugs, like sometimes on the side of the screen, whether at the bottom of the screen or the side of the screen, would have these like light effects on the side of it. Usually it's like green, orange, sometimes white, and it's just falling along the bottom of the screen. Eventually they'll go away, but it's really weird. But I also had another weird bug where my cars will sometimes, not just my car, but all cars will have like little white balls all around it. It's really weird. It's very interesting. I wish I could have gotten it in recording, but it just does it randomly. At some moments your car will be covering these little white balls or lights, like if you see like the green, yellow, red kind of signal to let you know to go. Sometimes when you're driving around the lap, it will be like a big white square covering up the lights. It's really weird. It's like a lot of graphical bugs and issues and stuff like that. As well as that, every time I did a championship race, and you do like multiple races in the championship, you get points, and whoever's got the most points wins the championship. The first race is not a problem. When you race the second race or third race in the championship, whatever detail you got your car set up, it resets it back to default colors. So if you got a special decal or special colors or anything like that around your car, when you go into the second or third or more races in the championship, the car's default coloring scheme will be put onto your car. So that's a little lame. Then you might build up a neat looking car, and then you get to the second race in the championship and your car revert back to its default design. Now, it's only temporary. Once you get done with the race or get done with the championship, it goes back to its original look, but it's still a bug. As well as that there is like competition rewards where you can do like win the race or do perfect a clean lap and you get bonus experience, or draft opponent a certain amount of seconds and you'll be able to get a special reward for that. There's these special little challenges in each career mode, and sadly there might be a little bit of a bug in one of the draft ones where you have to draft behind opponent and then overtake them. I have tried this multiple times, and sometimes I've only got it to work once, so I don't know if it's a bug or not, but I did go online. A lot of people talk about how it's a bug because a lot of people have been trying to unlock some of these special challenges, but they just won't unlock for them. And apparently it's like, even with this 36.4 gigabyte update, it was still recent people talking about it's still a bug. So I don't know if that's ever been fixed or it's some kind of user error. I don't know. I tried multiple times on some of these draft challenges and they just won't. They won't pop. I can't get the bonus experience from it. So that was very, very frustrating. As well as that the AI at beginning is not a big deal because all the cars are really slow. You're kind of just going around normal races. But if you, like, let's say, custom race and you set up really fast cars and the computer starts to zoom in at high speeds, for some reason their tail end of their cars will start wiggling. It's really weird. It looks like a cat's butt wiggling about, ready to pounce. It's like all the computer cars are doing this. Even when the computer takes control of your car, let's say you win the race or it's getting ready to start the race, even your car will have its butt wiggling. So for whatever reason, AI at a certain speed in cars, their butts will start to wiggle. The whole cars will just start to wiggle back and forth. Really, really funny looking, but still, it's a bit of an issue. Now, one of the bigger ones, flickering menu. Generally, when I start seeing flickering menu, I'm expecting the game to crash or freeze up because not only in gameplay, like your HUD, your speed gauge, your laps, and all that stuff, all your entire HUD will start flickering. When you complete a race, all the HUD will start flickering, and all the like wording and everything like that, the font will start flickering and be unreadable because it's like overlapping the text over other text, or just completely disappear, or it's flickering about. Sometimes it's not even flickering with like letters. It's like distorted graphical issues. This happens quite frequently in my experience, and I even have to give a seizure warning with it because sometimes it's like flashing white, a bunch of bright light on your screen. So there's a bit of a seizure warning with this because it flickers a bunch of colors because it's trying to flash a bunch of menu pieces on the screen. So just a bit of a warning on that. And that's about it. As you can tell, this game is... It is a bit of a mess. This is obviously a late stage alpha build version on disc or a very early stage beta version of the game. The game works. Like, you can progress, you can play career mode. The cars and computer is challenging. You can play through it and have a good time, but expect crashes, expect bugs, expect graphical errors and bugs and issues and stuff like that throughout the experience. Now, at no point did my driving ever get interfered, like me racing or anything like that. Now, I did have one time where I was doing a challenge and it was really difficult and I finally pulled off, and right as I finished the lap, the game froze up. So there could be times where you're doing a really hard challenge and the game just crashes or freezes up, and that's a big waste of your time, especially if it's a challenging one. And that was my main issue. It's kind of where I kind of just wanted to stop. And it wasn't really for that because I wanted to continue with it, but I realized in the game, career mode is really kind of pointless because you can actually do custom races in the game, and you don't actually get money for doing career mode and completing career races. You only get money when the main driver levels up. The player's stats level up. That's the only time you actually make money. And you can get experience by just doing custom races. So there's little to no reason to play career mode. You might as well just play custom races. Sure, you may get a little bit less experience, but in custom races, you have all the cars available to you. So you can just pick any car you want, and then there's multiple color variations of those cars, so you can really have some customization to a little bit on the custom races. Build up some money, then build up experience from custom races, and then eventually save up money to buy the cars you want, and then you can do your customization with the coloring and upgrade that car, because you can only borrow the cars in custom racing, but some of the cars you can't even upgrade because they're already a high performance cars. So to me, it almost felt like the career mode was just this minor add-on attachment to the experience. frankly, I actually, when I stopped doing career mode and just started doing custom races and just picking random cars and stuff like that, and just having, like, driving a Dodge Viper, a high-performance Dodge Viper, or an F1 Formula and stuff, and just having a good time with that, I honestly, God, was having a way more fun just doing that than trying to do the career mode challenges, because it doesn't even feel like the game is designed for you to play career mode in that way, because it's so slow in progress and making money that I actually got a stoned wall where I had to make a certain amount of money so I can buy a specific car, so I can use that car in a challenge, so I can unlock some of those challenges to be able to progress the career. So I was like, well, so then I just have to do custom races, or just play just normal little races till I can eventually earn enough money. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be doing random repeat races, I might as well just do custom races. That way I can drive whatever car I want and get more fun out of it, and customize my own weather system and opponents and stuff like that. So to me, it just felt like I might as well just play, custom races than doing anything with career. Now, again, you can play career, you can enjoy career, but I just don't really see the value in it. You might as well just play custom races. Now, the game does not support any kind of multiplayer or split screen or anything like that, so that's disappointing. Granted, that probably game wouldn't be able to handle it. It'd probably crash immediately with its normal instability on just single player playthrough. But in the end, it is actually a fairly good physical copy if you just pick it up just to do custom races, and then at least you can make progress. You get experience. You're not wasting your time just playing, let's say, bots. You're just randomly not really making any progress. At least doing custom races, you're still getting money. You're still getting experience, so you can buy your car, and once you get a certain level, you do unlock more cars. I didn't see anywhere in the list where you had to do career mode to unlock a car. At least I didn't see any. I kind of got worn down after a while when I realized all the crashes, all the bugs, the freeze up, the flickering menu. And I would highly recommend, even in this state, if it was just like this, but just because of those crashes, those lockups, those HUD menu flickering about, if it wasn't for that, this would actually be a highly valued game, in my opinion. And I can even see myself coming back to it just to do custom races. It's a fun little game. If you can get it really, really cheap, let's say $10, maximum $15, I'd say check it out. Even in this current state, you can just pop it in, install it, and do some custom races, pick whatever car you want, and have some fun with it. But I wouldn't really invest yourself into the game. I wouldn't really do career mode. I wouldn't do any big challenges, considering the game could crash or freeze up at any moment. So you can have fun. It's just, I kind of wish we got maybe a reprint and then it was like a PS5 version, even if it didn't come with DLC and stuff like that. Since the game is Blu-ray, the PS4 version, it can only fit a 50 gigabyte disc. If they had a PS5 version, they would have had a 100 gigabyte disc, and it could have fit this 36.4 gigabyte update onto the PS5 version. And this would have been really, really worth picking up. But as the current state, with all the issues and bugs and no multiplayer or anything like that, it's worth a checkout. If you can get it really, really cheap and just do some custom races, if you're like me who just love playing against bots and doing custom races and stuff like that, then you can have some fun out of it. I just wouldn't go too more into it thinking you're going to get some grand career mode out of it. So like always, thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry if you expected me to run through the entire career. Maybe there is a hard lock in the career mode. I just didn't see no value to invest any more time in this, considering it's a slow progress. You have to play. They definitely expect you to play this game a lot to be able to unlock the cars, the upgrades, to be able to play the career mode. It just wasn't worth, in my personal opinion, my personal time investment to doing that. But once I just stopped doing career mode and just started doing custom races, I was having a blast. I didn't even care if I owned the car or not. I was just happy to pick a car, choose the color I wanted, and then just race. That was a lot of fun. I definitely could see myself coming back to it. I just wish it didn't have the crashes. I wish it didn't have the freeze-ups and the flickering HUD menus. If it wasn't for that, even in this state, like physical copy, it would have been so worth it. But as it is, get it as cheap as you can possibly can. I don't recommend anything higher than $15. If you're like me who likes just playing against bots, I can see some value in it. So again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye!